Bob Baer with SIU. He's with the Department of Physics there. Bob, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing fine, doing fine. So we're looking ahead to this October 14th eclipse, right? What's happening? It's a partial eclipse. Can you kind of describe what's going to be happening there?
Yeah, it's a partial eclipse in our area. So unlike the total, it will not get dark for this. The sun's going to be blocked out about 54%, I believe, in our area for this eclipse. So you're actually going to need to have eclipse glasses or a solar telescope to view this eclipse. It's quite different from the total eclipse that we experienced in 2017.
Okay. All right. Good to know. And always, of course, good to be safe and protect your vision while checking this out. And you all are working on this, researching this, and have, in conjunction, the way I understand it is that you've had basically this role within the past several years leading up to now from our last total eclipse that working on these. What does that kind of trajectory look like?
So from the last total solar eclipse, we had it, of course, it was August 21st, 2017. And we've been doing some events in between. The star parties, we had an event for lunar eclipse a while back. And we're leading up to the April 8th, 2024 total solar eclipse that's going to be happening just in about 6 months. And so in the meantime, we've been doing some research as well. I'm leading a project along with Dr. Matt Penn called the Dynamic Eclipse Broadcast Initiative, which puts telescopes across North America to image the surface of the sun and the solar corona. And so we're going to be running that experiment and collecting data during this annular eclipse coming up.
All right. And yeah, can you just, as far as the research standpoint goes, what do you expect to see here? And yeah, what's the significance, really, I think, of it all?
So for the annular eclipse, we may be able to catch some activity on the surface of the sun, such as a flare. We can do some measurements on the lunar limb, which means looking at the profile of the moon. But it's mostly in preparation for the total solar eclipse. And as we take that data, we're going to actually be streaming some of this imagery back to Saluki Stadium, where we're having an in-person event for the annular solar eclipse coming up on October 14th as well.
Cool. And yeah, are there any other things that folks need to know about what they'll be able to see whenever this happens? What they could be on the lookout? Maybe something that when looking at it, to look for as far as that goes.
Yeah, so when looking at the annular eclipse, with your eclipse glasses on, if you have solar viewers or eclipse glasses, you're going to see the moon start to move in front of the sun. It looks like it takes a little bit of a bite out of it, and then it moves across it. And you can just watch the progression of that. The light coming down through the trees, once it gets towards maximum, you might be able to see crescents on the ground, or if you use a pinhole projector, you might be able to see that crescent image. Now at Saluki Stadium, we'll have some special solar telescopes that you can actually look directly at the sun with. And those operate in different wavelengths of light, specifically hydrogen alpha and calcium K wavelengths, which let you see the surface features on the sun as well. And that lets you see some really great detail, especially as the moon goes across it and starts to block out some of the brightness.
All right. Very cool. Very cool stuff. Yeah. Anything else to mention today? Anything that I may not have been able to ask about that we should mention today before we wrap up?
Gosh, as we approach the total solar eclipse, I think it's great for people to be aware how to see it and how to use those solar glasses safely. So coming up on October 14th on Saturday, it's a great time to get out and test out those glasses and make sure you know what you're looking at and see what a partial eclipse looks like.
All right. Excellent stuff. Bob Baer with SIU and the Department of Physics. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. We appreciate you all tuning in, being here with us. Stick around. More to come around the corner.